Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Paul Traney here. Good to see ya. The one and only Temi. Am I saying it right?
Yeah,
I'm saying it right.
Yes.
Yeah, Temi Coker, Adobe Creative Resident,
Yes.
and a great designer. Constantly pushing himself. Hasn't slept in like 3 weeks, probably, easily, because he's been traveling and working hard. And then he said, "Hey, come in here, and you're gonna work in front of everyone. This fine audience. We can see you, Kevin." Nell, Tim, of course. So give us a warm welcome. Good to be here. We're in beautiful San Francisco, where it's really sunny out and always gorgeous. And it's fantastic. Good to have you here. Where are you from?
Thank you. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas.
Yes.
But you've been on the road for a little bit. Is that true?
Yeah, I won't be back home till like Sunday.
Oh, and when did you leave?
I left last week Wednesday.
Yeah, so he doesn't even know where his home is now.
Right,
at this point.
yeah, I've just been a nomad, just traveling and sleeping at different hotels.
No, that's awesome. And hopefully things slow down a little bit. I'm glad we get to kind of hang out with you. We'll be going for 90 minutes today with you, which is awesome. We got a full day ahead of us. We're going to go ahead and show you the full schedule real fast. Again, this week on Adobe Live, it is all about designing in Photoshop with Temi Coker, with myself, Shauna Lynn, Pan Chezin, Voodoo Val as well. I don't know if she's actually... I've only seen her in chat. We'll see. Jake Armstrong, and then Reza as well, Farazman. Everyone, does kind of like different styles, because even when you say, designing in Photoshop, that's like a pretty broad statement, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, just knowing all the things you can do in Photoshop, it's
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and that's what I think is really cool. And just so everyone knows... just kind of so you're aware of some of the housekeeping announcements, if that works for you, Youssef and Seth. But we have daily submissions as well. You'll see that tab. We have a daily challenge today. Create and share an imaginary creature using Photoshop CC. We have another challenge tomorrow, and then day 3, which is Thursday, we have portfolio reviews where we get to see your work, showcase it. So the daily challenge today is really inspired by your work, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, I was flattered. Yeah,
isn't that cool? As you can see behind us, some of your beautiful work, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't this look great? Like I'm there. See? All right, I'm gonna get out of the way. But either way, I think this is really cool. That's your daily challenge. You can find that in the challenge tab. You can actually see your work there, which is cool. And there's always this little tutorial that you can watch right down here. So that's all you need to do. You can check out the tutorial if you want, but I suggest you just hang out with us and then just submit whatever you make within an hour and a half. This is your best chance to win, and we'll talk about what we win here in a little bit. But essentially... you'll have your work featured, and you'll win a Creative Cloud subscription during the streams. Cheers to that.
Cheers. So
Pavel, hopefully that works for you. Roxanne, Chris, Cannon, lots of familiar faces. This is going to be fun.
I'm excited.
This is kind of your first time kind of being in front of, I know you've streamed.
Yeah, I've done like Facebook Live with Terry White, but this is my first time with Adobe Live.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to watch this when I was in college, so it's like surreal just being here and doing this.
Oh, I know, and it's quieter than. Is it quieter than you suspected?
Yeah.
We don't hear any. We don't hear any music.
There's nothing. There's just
people whispering in the background. Like, so what are you talking about?
Right.
Actually, there's a huge audience behind the cameras here. They keep very quiet. Yeah, we're working.
Right.
But we also have the giveaway in about 25 minutes. Tatley, that's what that's doing right up there. Fake tattoos. Well, they're real tattoos. They're just really temporary is all they are. I love Tatleys, created by real artists. I love them.
Wow.
I don't have any tattoos, like zero, but I have tattoo envy like you wouldn't believe.
Right.
So when I get a hold of these, I'm just like,
all over.
they're like going all over, man. I love it.
I've never tried it before. I've always heard about them.
Dude, super cool. So we'll pull those out. Do you have any tattoos?
No, I don't have any tattoos.
All right, you got two fresh canvases here. Only for Tatleys right now, because we can't commit. But we do commit to working for the next hour and a half. Not me, I just get to watch. But what is the plan today, huh?
Yeah.
Temi, what do you got? What's the plan?
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much today we're just going to make a poster using, I guess, like I love fishes. So I've been doing this poster a day project for a while now, and I finished last month 365 posters. And the last like couple of posters, I started messing around with fishes, like betta fishes. And I just loved adding them to my images, and I was creating like some kind of weird stuff. And so today I'm pretty much just going to show you guys how I'm going to make that. And yeah, and I'm going to make it from scratch. So we're going to learn together. You're going to see my process. You're going to see how I think and different things like that. And all of these images were taken from Adobe Stock, except this one, it was taken by a guy named Maxim Vakovsky. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and this is a good friend of mine named Zupile. So I am going to make something based off of this and also off of this.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. And I think it's cool that you can check out his work as well through you just go ahead and see over in the info tab. But you can see his Behance work. You have the 20-day poster challenge, but also on your site you have sort of you can get inspiration basically from Temi's work right in here as I scroll down.
Yeah.
And yeah. And really, it's like you do graphic design, but also do photography. So.
Yeah, so I pretty much started off with photography first, but I started getting a lot of inspiration from design, and I started adding it to my photography work, and then I just wanted to get good in design as it was in photography. So me and my friend Magdiel Lopez, we started this poster a day project. So for a whole year, you design a poster a day, and my first poster sucked, but if you see my poster now, I mean, I've grown a lot and I'm excited. So
that's so good. And that's kind of the goal of these, even when we have these daily challenges. I know, thank you so much for Marissa covering that for XD, but like that's the big goal. Your success is measured by obviously like how far you've come from day 1 to day 30, and you kind of do see that progression.
Definitely.
See, that is so fascinating. I absolutely love it. But I'm looking on your site. We have volume 1, volume 2,
volume 3, and volume 4. So I had to separate them because on my website, scrolling through 365 posters can be taxing. So I broke them into 4 different volumes, and the cool thing is I'm going to like make it into different books. So volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4.
I love these. Yeah, it looks great. It seems like it has, I like the contrast of, of black and white, and just this, you have this pop of color in here. So, okay, you can see volume 2 in here as well.
Yeah.
So feel free to check out his work. And I'm noticing you've been lying to me this whole time. How do I say your full name?
Oh, man.
Temilulua?
Temilulua.
Temilulua.
Lalua.
Temilulua.
Yeah.
Temilulua. Lalua.
See, that's why I didn't tell you the whole thing, because it would have been like...
We would have, that's the whole show.
It's
just me trying to pronounce
30 minutes
That's
and
horrible.
learn how to pronounce it.
We're switching back to yours.
Temi.
Temi is better. Temi is easy.
Yeah, so pretty much the way I start is I always make my posters from 8.5 by 11 or sometimes 11 by 17. But for right now, I just want to do 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to make 8.5 by 11. Resolution is 300. Since I usually put this on the web first, I do RGB, and then I like my background to be black for this type of poster. So, yeah, so now we have our poster. Yay.
Oh, yeah, and done.
I'm done.
Thank you, everybody.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring this picture of Upile by Maxim into Photoshop.
And do you like have an idea for what you're gonna do, or are you just gonna like play with it and see what happens?
Yeah, sometimes I have ideas, but I don't like try to stick with them. Usually, I like to be open to different possibilities and whatnot.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. So I also have my library here, and I have like images that I've used before that I feel like will work. So right off the bat, I already see this orange, and I feel like it goes well with her skin. This is actually a fish.
Oh yeah.
And so right now what I'm thinking is I'm going to put this on her head.
Oh yeah, do it.
So,
put the fish on her head.
Right.
Sorry.
So before I do that now, I'm going to take the lady out of the background. With some of the recent Photoshop updates, there's this thing called select subject, and sometimes if I'm too lazy, I just click on select subject, and Photoshop does a pretty good job at selecting the person out of the background.
And I just want to pause, like, make sure everybody knows that.
Right.
Because I feel like we kind of snuck that in there and
Yeah.
didn't really, like, highlight it. It just
Right.
came out one day. And no big... Hey, you know how you're always trying to cut out things? Guess what? There's a button that does that.
Right.
And I'm like, this is
I found it by accident
awesome.
because I was like, what is this select subject?
Yeah,
and I pressed it.
I apologize because I don't think we did a good job of letting everybody know. That's why
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're pointing it out. Select subject.
Yeah,
And this goes for anything. Like, it's pretty amazing. It, again, uses our sort of Adobe Sensei technology.
Right.
A lot of machine learning to detect what is a subject, and then we'll cut it out. Here, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know, but when it's just a click away, it makes it
Like
super
it makes,
easy.
yeah. And so before that, I used to use something called select and mask. And pretty much I liked this a lot because you can have an overlay color on your image. So let's say I want to pick red. And I have the opacity at 50%. And so I'm using the bracket keys to kind of make my selection bigger. And then if I click and press, the stuff that I select actually pops out of the color.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. Wow.
So it helps because here's what happens if you didn't have that. Now I'm selecting, but I don't know what I'm selecting. But if I have the color, it starts to show me what I'm actually selecting.
And again, you're in the select and mask dialog, which you can find in the properties panel typically when you have a selection tool.
Yeah,
selected.
so I
Let me
clicked on
just
my
double-check.
quick selection tool right here, and then I clicked on select and mask.
Got it.
That was the old way I used to do.
Okay, I like it.
And this helps me to be more precise, but let's say a lot of people don't know how to do that. You can do the select subject. And Photoshop does a pretty good job, but it's not always perfect.
Yeah.
And so after I use select subject, I then click on select and mask.
Photoshop just gives you just enough to do to make you feel like you're designing.
It does a
Like,
pretty
we gotta
good
give
job.
you, it does a pretty good job. Here's something for you to do so you feel like you're part of the process.
Right.
It's funny.
And so after that, as you can see, there's issues right here with the hair, right? And I realized this tool is called the Refine Edge Brush tool, because I used to have a lot of issues actually picking, separating someone's hair from the background,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of magazine covers, they use this technique. So pretty much the Refine Edge Brush tool, what it does is that it sees where the edges are and it takes away anything that might be blocking that, right? So I put this on her hair, so all of this yellow is actually disappearing. Right, so now we just see her hair.
Awesome.
Right, and I see some parts of her face here might have it, so I'm gonna
Yeah, like
do
maybe
that as
in
well.
her, is that her teeth? Maybe it's a highlight.
Yeah, it's
in
a
her
highlight
mouth.
from the camera, so we'll just leave that.
William Workman, that's right. So I think actually food delivery services, not delivery services, big like Blue Chef, Green Chef, Blue Apron, they send you stuff to cook.
Yes,
They
I've
can
heard
have
about
everything like kind of, they just give you enough to make you feel like you're cooking, but you're doing the minimum requirement of cooking just to make you feel like you made something.
Exactly right.
So to my point, like Photoshop does that to a degree. Here's the little, because literally you just
I
swiped
just
over
swiped
the hair
over it and it's gone.
and then you did that. But honestly, if you didn't know that existed, you would just be at a loss.
Right,
So
exactly.
yeah.
So now that I have her, you can use the shift edge, and what that does is that it kind of like cuts some of the edges away so that it's your selection is sharper. But I don't always use it unless I have to. A mistake people usually forget to do is, so I used to be a high school teacher. My students always forgot to do this, right? Output to selection. If you do output to layer mask, it just makes a mask on the image. But I
Yeah.
actually want it to be a selection so I can have that layer by
And
itself.
can you do that drop down again one more time, by the way?
Yes.
Just so we could see.
So you
Because
want
there
to.
is a new layer
There's a
with
new layer, yeah.
with the layer mask. Is it just like another option? But it depends
Yeah, it's
on what
another
you're going
option,
for.
but for me, I always have it on selection.
Cool.
Just because if I press OK, and let's say I find a mistake somewhere, and I'm like, I want to fix it, I can quickly fix it and then make a new layer.
Got it.
Right.
Cool.
So now I go to layer via copy, and now we just have her by herself.
Sweet.
Now, as you can see, it's not perfect, but I'm gonna show you guys how I can actually make these edges sharper, right?
Yeah.
But since I'm putting something on her hair, I don't care about this part.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
But Still so cool. And Tim actually points out smart radius. Pretty much anytime something says smart, try to select it. Like if there's two options, one says smart, do the smart one.
Right. I used
that
to
is in the dialogue.
I have used it before, and it made my computer slow.
And you weren't really messing with the radius anyway, so it didn't matter. But.
So yeah, but people have used it, and it does a pretty good job as well. But I have found issues with it on my computer, possibly because it's slow and some of the files I was using was really big.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a good tool to use. It really helps with your edge detection and whatnot. So, I mean, we could try it and see.
And it's just fun to just jump in and play around. For the most part, you had all of it cleaned up. You didn't really, there was nothing so intense that you had to mess with the feather and all that stuff, the radius of that. So
exactly. So yeah, we have the lady here. And now we have this fish. Now this is pretty cool. So Photoshop actually does a pretty good job with this. So I'm gonna go to my quick selection tool. I'm gonna say select subject.
Welcome, Jose Gonzalez. Good to have you here. And Philip and Angela, let us know if you're just joining us this morning. You just hopped on. We want to say hello. Hopefully you have a nice little coffee in your hands.
And so,
he's already down to cappuccino, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Or did you?
So I'm like alert.
He's
right
gonna. We're gonna be done in about 20 minutes.
So this was me using the quick the select subject. So as you can see, I can go back to selected mask, and I can try to kind of clean some of these places up. And then I can go back here to my selection and just reselect some of the stuff that might have been deselected. And since this is on the black background, I don't have to worry too much about if there's any blacks on the edges and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of like this. So I'm going to press OK. And I'm going to right click and say layer via copy. Same thing I did for the lady. And now we have her and we have this. Right.
Sweet. What type of fish is that? Somebody's asking.
I do not know.
I
found
fish?
Yeah, it's a beta fish for sure. It's called rhythmic of beta fish.
How come there's beta fish, but I don't think there's any alpha fish? Are there?
I haven't seen any.
Or are those just sharks?
There's beta fish and there's like Siamese.
Yeah.
I used to call it sesame fish.
Sesame fish.
Yeah, I was not paying attention.
No, you're good. They're gorgeous, gorgeous beta fish. Or Siamese fighting fish.
Exactly.
Might be another term for commonly known as the beta fish. B-E-T-T-A. Interesting. We're learning so much today.
Right. Beautiful. So I just started messing around, and let me make her a little bit smaller so she's the center of this whole thing. And now I'm just gonna like mess around, make this a little bigger. And as you can see, I'm starting to come up with something.
Gonzalo Figueroa, good to have you here, my friend. Yes, Philip, thank you so much. Siamese fighting fish.
So this is what I do. I usually just check this out to see if I like it. I kind of do. So I'm gonna hide this, and I'm going to bring another fish in because I want her to have something on. Like I'm imagining this fish around her being like a cloth.
Okay.
Right? So it's just random idea. So I'm going to go to my selected mask because I kind of want to be precise with this. And I'm pressing Command plus to zoom in. And I have Keycaster here, so whatever I'm pressing, you guys can actually see. Okay, so I'm just going to select this beta fish. Doesn't have to be perfect because all I really care about is the fins, right? So
I really like that. I know it's just a temporary color, but that red, that whatever color you'd call that, looks really good too.
Yeah, I love the colors. Like for the next post I'm going to make, I'm going to show you guys. It's probably the best beta fish I have seen on the internet. And Adobe Stock had it. And I found it yesterday, and I was just so excited to use it because of the color.
Aaron Fields really likes this idea. That's good to hear. Awesome. Welcome if you're new or just joining us this morning. Oh, sweet. Lindsay is back after a couple months. Welcome. It's Tammy's first time live streaming, at least in the flesh.
Right.
And yeah, that looks so good. That on that black, that just like really pops.
Yes, I just love how it looks on her skin. I'm still contemplating if I want to make this black and white, but we'll see. So here I have the fish, and right now I'm just brainstorming. So I'm gonna add a layer mask. And what I always told my students was like, I was intimidated by layer mask when I was first starting Photoshop. But if you think about it, layer mask is a white background. So I tell my students white reveals and black conceals. So think of when you turn the lights on, you can see everything. But then when you turn the lights off, things start to hide, right? So that's how I learn about layer mask. So I'm going to definitely hide part of the fish. However, I feel like these scales might look good.
Oh yeah, like
pairing up with her skin, like something like that, right? So now I'm just gonna use my layer mask and just kind of try to make it blend just a little. I'm using my arrow keys to make it match. Now what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna make another copy. And what I try to do is I'm gonna try and put these two things behind her on the layer. So I'm gonna just label this photos. I'm gonna say this is the fish body.
Good job naming your layers, by the way. That doesn't always happen.
I don't always do it, but I just want to show people that you can do it. Because for me, I just start moving stuff around and I don't have time to do all of that stuff. So I'm going to just do a layer mask on her body, and I'm just gonna start to hide parts of it. Right. And I'm gonna put this behind.
Everybody's really liking this so far.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited.
Jonathan says it's looking really good already.
And if you want to switch, do a quick switch between the white and black brush, you can press X, and that helps. So I am putting her skin back. So it just takes a lot of trial and error here.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be perfect, but let's see here.
Aaron Fields says he's supposed to be working but can't pull himself away because you're a great teacher.
Oh wow, thank you.
And you did mention your students. Tell us a little bit about. You said your high school or
yeah. So after I graduated college, I wanted to just give back, because growing up, people didn't think that creativity was like something you could flourish in, right? So I went back to my old high school to teach, and it was really awesome. I think I realized that I needed to be there when one of the parents were like, I want my kid to do engineering, but he loves your class, and I think I want to give him a shot in this creative field or whatever. And that's when I knew that, I was making a difference in the community and in my old school. And so we started off with just one photography class, and before I left, we had 4.
Oh, nice.
And so the program grew a lot. So I taught photography and Photoshop class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is this in Dallas?
Yeah,
area?
this was in Mansfield, so it's like 30 minutes away from Dallas.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm just pressing Command J. Command J allows you to make a new layer based off of the layer you already clicked. Right, so now I'm trying to make it more drastic and bold. So now we have something like this. This is the fish body. I'm just gonna say fish back, because this is behind her. I'm gonna make a copy of that to see if maybe I can make it bigger.
Do you have a favorite tool in Photoshop offhand?
Whew.
Just like a favorite thing that you can do.
Yeah, mixer brush tool. I'm gonna see if I can use it today, but I'm definitely using it tomorrow.
Interesting. Mixer brush. Did you hear that? I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it's
Hello, D. Ross from
pretty
Canada.
sick.
Good to have you. I saw somebody from Calgary as well. Good to have you here from all over the world. I saw India earlier. Sorry I didn't catch your name. But
so kind of liking this. And now if you click on the last layer and hold down shift and click on the first layer that you want to move. You can select everything. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, just a little. So now this is what it looks like. I definitely am thinking about making the skin dark. Ooh. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
that is pretty interesting.
Now you can see there's a small issue. Her face was dark in the original picture. So more than likely, I'm just gonna lighten it up. But before I do that, I always have a backup. I make a copy of my layer and I just save it.
Yeah.
And I can call it backup.
Sweet.
So this is just in case I mess up. So what I'm going to do is there's a tool called the burn and dodge tool. Dodge tool makes it light. Burn, just think of fire, and makes it darker. So I'm going to bring out the highlights in your face. Let's hope this works. Let me see here.
Welcome from Houston, Morocco, Munir. Good to have you here. Fahad from New York City. Or actually, I think it just said New York. Also saw Quebec. We have a creative jam next week in Montreal, just FYI.
Creative jams are amazing. I was just there in Orlando for the one at Full Sail.
Yeah, was that fun?
Yeah.
Good time.
It was awesome.
Stick around 3 minutes. We're going to have a random chat and win giveaway just for fun. But welcome everyone, especially if it's your first time, even if you're a long time friend. The only friends I have are online.
So this is before and this is after. Oops, hold on, yeah. I just wanted to show you guys before and after. So.
Hello, Colby, good to see you here. Orlando in the house.
This
I
is
like that.
After you see her face is a little bit brighter. This is before her face was darker.
And so when you were using the dodge, you were using dodge, right?
Yeah, I was using the dodge tool.
So just to kind of point out what you were dodging, because right up here in the upper, I guess you can't quite do that, but just be aware of what you have that set to.
Yes, because you can mess things up or you can fix it. So I made a copy because I had to actually use this on her face. Right, I couldn't just make a new layer and try to clip it because it wouldn't work that way.
And maybe so we could try some different things because that's kind of you're working through this process. And since you do have backups, we can always like have some backups and bounce it off the audience to see what everybody thinks. Some people actually, did I see somebody does definitely Anne really likes the brightening of the face. If we ever run into, because I've run into, do you ever run into situations where you're like, does that even look good anymore?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely.
Am I doing anything?
I want to ask the crowd because right now I'm about to change the color
That looks
of.
really good, though.
Thank you. I'm about to change the color of the fins, right? Because I want it to kind of match this, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna bring this back first, and I'm gonna make it smaller till it can kind of fit her head just a little.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna add a layer mask to that, and here's where the fun comes in. I have to use black because I want to hide. Oops, I'm on the wrong brush. I'm using the dodge.
I do that all the time.
It happens to me so many times. All right, so here we go. So I'm kind of hiding this now, and as you can see, this is what it kind of looks like. I'm gonna try and blend this into her face. Now I'm noticing here there's like this sharp line and I like it. So what I'm gonna do is, this is how I make my corners very sharp. All right, I use the pen tool. This might be an unpopular opinion, but this is what I use.
Hey man, if it works for you,
Yeah.
it's correct. Like I don't know, I don't like people like, oh, you should like, all right, fine. You know what? Client was happy. Maybe that's just me being I should be kinder. More kind, but that's working because you get that nice crisp edge. That's what you want.
Exactly. So right now I have it on path because I was using the mixer brush tool, but I make it into a shape.
Boom.
So once it's a shape, if you hold down Command and click on the shape, it actually turns it into a selection.
Cool.
Right. So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to just bring back some of these because I want my corner to be sharp. I'm going to hold down Command, click on the shape. To make the selection, I'm going to go back to the layer mask, and now I'm going to use black to hide it. And as you can see, where the shape stops, that's where this stops as well.
Yeah, kind of control what you're what you're blending and everything.
Exactly.
Cool. So we do have fireworks. Those are fireworks in the background.
Oh, wow.
That means it's time for Chat and Win.
Awesome. I'm excited about this.
Welcome back. Everybody knows what to do because we see this chat lighting up.
Everyone's
That's
talking.
all you need to do. Be like, hey, what's up? Nice hair.
Someone said chicken dinner. Wow, that sounds good.
Yes. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I see lead designer. And Van Damme designer, did I see you as well? So all you have to do is be like, hey, what's up?
Caroline Smith.
Love your laptop stickers. And that's how you enter to win the fabulous Tatley temporary tattoos, right? You can see them right here. Be like all the cool kids. Yes. Very designery. I really like
it.
them.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, this is really... They're like pretty believable too. I think they're pretty sharp. So we'll go ahead and pick a winner. The Adobe Live team will. We have a special team of agents on it, selecting, doing a background check, and we'll highlight that person in a second. So that's what we're doing right now.
Very cool.
Good to have you here. I feel so honored and just so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
So happy that we see so many awesome names that I recognize and cool people. And I'm really happy for Ryan Nelson.
Ryan Nelson.
Congratulations. Ryan. You are a big winner of the Tatley temporary tattoo pack by designers for designers. And that will be heading your way. Just a token of appreciation to say thank you so much for joining us. And thank you as well, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
I want to get those. We need to try to get a hold of some of those tattoos tonight because we're going to go to dinner.
Oh, yeah, we are.
And then maybe tomorrow we'll be
tomorrow we'll have
check it out. And it's just, I don't know what it would be.
That would be
I guess
cool.
I
wonder what they have.
Oh, it's like lots of cool things, but we
cool.
got to try to finagle some of that stuff.
Hopefully
So congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah, like there's colored ones too, so it's just, yeah. It's kind of
Awesome.
wild. All right, so thank you, Tatley. We're back at it. I would take this. Actually, you know, this as black and white. This is a cool, like flower tattoos are cool. I could see this as a tattoo.
If someone made a tattoo out of my poster, I think I would cry.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That'd be so
That'd be
awesome.
super cool.
So, as you can see, her head is still showing, right? So I have two options. I can either erase her hair, or make this bigger and make it cover that. And sometimes if I just don't feel like doing the extra work, I just erase her head because no one's gonna know, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So here we go, and then even here you can still see parts of the fish. So I'm gonna go back to this fish layer. Oops, wrong layer. I'm gonna go back to this fish layer and just hide this. Now, I definitely need to make her head bigger because this is not working. So I'm just gonna make the hair a little bigger so it covers that part of her head. And as you can see, my layer mask still stays there. And perfect.
Andrea Rose says, hi folks, I'm late. So if you could just start from the very top. And I'm just joking. It's always being recorded. But that looks really cool. And the thing is you do need to kind of be mindful of the shape of the head.
Right.
Like, you know that even you could erase a line, but be very aware of it's going to look more believable.
Exactly.
If you
right. Yeah. And so now it looks like a cut and paste, right? Because it's like, boom, this is right here. So what I usually do is I make a new layer and I put it under the shape layer. And I make it black. I use the black color. And what I do is I'm very careful, but I paint right there to kind of add some type of shadow.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To kind of make it believable.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see the difference. Those little details matter.
That does.
Right. So I just did that. All right. So now, audience, you guys are going to help me out here. I'm going to group all of these fishes. And then I'm going to make a hue and saturation layer, and I'm gonna clip it, and I am going to start moving things around. So of course we kind of wanted to match this, but we don't have to. We can always change the color. But you guys tell me whatever color you guys like. So this is pink, kind of goes back into the original kind of orangey. Ooh, oh my gosh, I like this one. This is me personally, but you guys let me know. Someone said purple looks good.
Yeah.
Group fishes equals school. Yeah.
Good job. Apparently,
That's
we're,
smart.
apparently we're
Make a school.
apparently we're talking fish facts.
Right. So yeah, there's blue. Some people say they like pink.
So we can do fish puns if you want to.
Right.
So how do I say this? Let me know which color you like.
Yeah.
Essentially. Let me know.
So I know some people said pink. Some people said purple.
I really like having a hint of that gold color.
Yeah.
But going a little bit different. Like I think you're drawn to this one, by the way.
Yeah, I really I really like this one. I can increase the saturation, and I can go back up here and make sure this is clipped in here and increase the saturation as well. So now it kind of matches, right? Now, I am very OCD sometimes, so this little blue is actually making me mad. So I can actually go into individual colors and tweak them.
Ooh.
So let's say I want this to kind of match that purple or the yellow. I can do that, or...
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't the right time, but what if you wanted a little red here and then have it kind of go out to the gold?
So
how would you do that?
A little red here.
Yeah.
And have it go out to the gold. You could either do gradients or let's see here.
Like, could you paint on another layer or something like that?
Yeah. So that's actually the last thing I plan to do. But
oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So I like this dissolve. I don't know what it does. I just like it. So we could do something here, and you can literally change the opacity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we could do something like that. We can do overlay. So to be honest, I usually spend a lot of time on this different blending modes because I get different results, right? So I just keep messing around until I find something that I like.
Yeah, that's all we do.
Yeah, so what I do is I'm gonna have this, make sure it's behind her because I'm about to make some, oops, that's awkward. It automatically clipped into her. I don't want that. So if you want to clip, you can right click and say clipping mask, create clipping mask, or you can, if you want to release the clipping mask, you can do that. Or you can hold down Alt.
And just to kind of clarify, hopefully everybody knows what a clipping mask is.
Yeah, so.
Because I think it's like huge.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
So clipping mask, I'll show you guys right now. So let's say I just do this, but I only want it on her face and not everywhere else. If I hold down Alt and I clip it on the layer of her or a layer that is clipped to her, it's going to stay.
Yes.
It's going to put it inside.
You held down, is it Option or Command? Which key is it?
It's Alt or Option if you have Windows. And you can do that.
And then also if you right click on that menu, it
just
should
say
be
create
listed.
clipping mask.
Yeah.
All you have to do is make sure that whatever image you have on the top is what you want to clip to something at the bottom. Right. So I'm going to do this, and I am just going to make like a fake circle, possibly something like that, and make sure it is behind her so that it goes behind her face. Now this black thing, I think that was a mistake I made on her actual face, so I'm just gonna go back here.
And this happens, I'm glad you pointed this out, because I do that sometimes too. You're painting with black and white, but you probably had the layer selected and not the mask.
And then sometimes you mess up just like I did.
Because it's just a thin border around the layer mask or that's the indicator.
I think this is actually from this layer.
Hey, Rasim, who doesn't know clipping masks? There's a lot of people that don't know about clipping masks.
Wow.
By the way,
Clipping mask is a lifesaver, guys.
And I never even if one person learns about clipping mask, like that's huge. It's like with smart objects.
Right.
You think people kind of know less than you think. They know what they do day in and day out, but that's why they're here, hopefully.
Something
but
new.
Hopefully, yeah, everybody's.
So I'm just gonna bring some of this back here. So
that red is it's just a gorgeous screen. Just gorgeous.
Right. So now going back to this red, I would either use not multiplied.
Ooh, good job. Angela Schrock says lots of people know clipping mask and Illustrator more than Photoshop because clipping masks are used there.
Yeah,
I believe.
I know in Illustrator you have to kind of turn it into like it has to be a vector. I think a vector shape on top.
Yeah, vector shape on top, and we'll make that clipping mask. So
yeah,
good call.
So you can reduce the opacity if you want it to kind of glow. You can do that. If you want it to be an overlay, you can do that as well.
It's looking gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's so nice.
Thanks so much. So now,
so beautiful.
I told you guys about the what was it? I told you guys about the mixer brush tool. So I'm going to use it just to add some flair to the background. All right. So the way the mixer brush tool works is that you click on your brush and it's right there, and it's called the mixer brush tool.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to do dry, heavy load, and you want to go to the layer that you're going to sample. So pretty much the way it works is that you sample a part of whatever color or image, and then you can turn it into a brush.
Do your thing. There is the sample all layers.
You can sample all layers if you want to, but if I hold down Alt, I'm sampling this. So if you look right up here, it shows you exactly what you're sampling, right? So I click here, and I'm just sampling areas of the fish till I figure out something what I like. So I kind of like this area. Actually, let me actually do it on the actual fin. So I'm gonna go in here and sample this. Ooh, I kind of like that. All right, so here's where the fun begins. So now that I have it sampled, I have my new layer, and I'm going to press P, which gives me the pen tool, and I'm just gonna like create a path.
Okay.
All right, so it's up to you, whatever you want to create. This is how the pen tool, this is how I use the pen tool, and then you can right click and say stroke path.
Is everybody watching? Is this being recorded? Okay, good.
Yes.
We hit
Stroke
record.
path, and it says,
this is important
it
stuff.
says, what tool do you want to use? Do you want to use the mixer brush tool? Since I have a sample in the mixer brush tool, I press OK. And now it's Photoshop is going to kind of draw a path using that. Now, it's all trial and error, right? So right now, I don't like it only because my sample was small. So I'm gonna go back to my mixer brush tool. It's always based on the size of your brush. So if your brush is this small, you're gonna have something that small. So I'm gonna make my brush a little bigger. I'm gonna go back to that layer, sample the edge again. You don't have to use the path. You don't have to use the pen tool. You can actually just draw, and it follows what you're doing. But if you want your path to kind of be smooth and straight and look good, then
see what's happening there? So you're just
definitely
kind of making a nice swooshy background. Is that kind of the thought?
exactly, yeah.
And that string, by the way, that's a new feature. It allows you to control the stroke like much better.
Yes, definitely. It's been a lifesaver. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go back and make a new layer, and I'm just going to, the idea I have is for it to kind of go this way and just kind of bow out, maybe like that. All right, so I'm gonna go to my path, right click, stroke path, and you press OK.
And the reason you draw the path, it just gives you more control.
Yeah,
right?
it makes it so more like just perfect.
Yeah, like
Right.
you can have a definitive line.
Exactly.
And then you stroke
And
it.
if you're really good with typography and you have a Wacom tablet, you can use you can turn this into a type, right?
Yeah.
I know I've seen a tutorial on Adobe Create Mag that has that. So as you can see, the color is different, right? So I'm just going to bring it to the bottom. If you hold down Command Shift and the back bracket keys, it takes it down to the bottom layer.
So, William, this does work like a real brush. It's not on the iPad app. There are ways to do something similar, but
Right.
the mixer brush allows you to sample part of the photo. You're drawing a path, and then you're saying, hey, put that brush, the mixer brush that you sampled along that path.
Exactly.
Cool. And this is what you do. You just kind of play around, get some different
and you
ideas.
get different ideas. And then you can definitely turn it around. So we can have something kind of like that if I wanted to. But for me right now, I know if I feel like it's taking away the focus from the actual image. So I'm probably going to delete it. But tomorrow I'm going to use it a lot. But yeah, so this is pretty much a fish, human being, person. And so let's say this was, if I was still making my poster a day, I would definitely make a new layer with the type, and I would label it to Pile. That's my friend, that's her name. put it over here. Command T, you can change your size. Or if you decide you want to be fancy and actually add the text to her, it definitely will take a lot of trial and error,
but you could do it. That would be really fun too. Wow.
Right. So, yep.
Interesting.
So this is how this is made. If I
save your file. Oh yeah, that's one thing we need to do.
Yeah, please don't.
Come on,
don't
chat.
Forget to save.
Deanna and William, Ty. Usually somebody's like, save your file. Like we'll go the whole day and not.
Yeah,
like, I'm so glad we're saving this.
I have my stuff on our recovery, but sometimes it still won't work. So yeah. So I'll just save this in here and just say day 1, PSD. And those of you who don't want to actually work in CMYK but want to work in RGB and later want to convert your colors to CMYK, if you go to Edit, Convert to Profile, and you click on Working CMYK, it flattens your layers, but what it does is that it saves it into CMYK. So I can actually have this printed.
Cool.
Now, if you look closely, you can kind of see that the colors are kind of dim, but you can really just increase your saturation if you want to.
Somebody's already, chat's going a little fast. You already have some fans.
Awesome.
Of your work. Photoshop doesn't have an autosave as you work, but if it does crash, it will give you a recovery file.
Recovery, yes. That's what I meant to say.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
So this is looking really good. Like and again, you're back to the layers. We have this. This looks really, really good.
Thank you.
My only suggestion is to I almost want to brighten up her face a touch.
A touch, okay.
Like just the front. How would you do that? Like how would could you just highlight more of her?
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a copy just in case again, because right now it looks like this, and I'm gonna just hide that copy. So I'm gonna go back into my, there are different ways actually. I could literally use the curves, right, and brighten up her face if I wanted to.
Yeah, and that might look even better on the stream, just FYI. Okay, that gives her a little more pop. I like that.
And then if I wanna hide parts of it, because I don't want the whole body to be bright, I have to switch back to my regular brush, right? And so if I only wanted to affect the front of her face and not everything, I can actually.
There we go. That looks so good.
Use the mask. And yeah.
I love it. Can't clap because it'll be too loud on the stream. I'm doing fake clap. That looks really good. And then my next question is you could always you could tweak this to death, quite frankly, because I was thinking, well, does the shoulder of the scales, is that black and white or a blend of black and white into the color? Either way, this looks great. The reason I like that part is it looks like it's part of her shoulder.
So that's exactly what I was envisioning. Yes.
Morphing. And speaking of morphing, that's what today's challenge is all about.
Yes.
Is making that human/animal hybrid, and inspired by your work. You have about 10 minutes still. You can check out that tutorial, but just go ahead and jump in and make it this size and compile, a human and some other animal, just like we did here. You made it look so easy.
Thank you.
I'm depressed. You made it look so easy. I'm like, how can I compete?
So I've also I don't know if I have time. I can make another one, but
oh yeah, Jason does agree because I liked how you did add that font, by the way.
Oh, adding the font.
That's another story, but you could add that text in, and I know how you're thinking of. You're probably thinking of having it integrated.
Oh yeah.
That's sexy. It's nice.
Yeah.
Chris likes it. Says it's awesome. Thank you so much. Lee likes it as well. I got a bunch of fans, and
awesome.
Not to forget about 40 minutes too, by the way. We have more guests, so stick around all day today.
So there's this thing called you can warp something to fit someone's head. So let's say I don't feel like deleting her head. I can literally move this area.
Zoop.
Just like that.
Nice. I like it. Have you played with Puppet Warp? We're gonna learn.
We're gonna learn. I've used it before. I've taught it because I taught Photoshop in the book.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm on my second coffee. I'm gonna.
Let me see. I believe it's up here.
Yeah, under.
edit, yeah, Puppet Warp.
So this is nice.
Yeah, so this tool, you can pretty much add points to certain parts of the image.
And if you, usually you could maybe like pin down the parts that are on her head because you don't want those to move.
Right.
And then put one pin at the top or a couple, and those top ones are like, you know, add pins. You don't even have to add that many, by the way.
Oh.
I wouldn't even add that many.
I mean, okay. So
yeah, you're going crazy.
You just keep her face. Okay.
Yep.
Let me undo those. Oh, I guess that's not. Oh, okay. Is it working? You can just click on it.
Hit escape or whatever.
Oh yeah, if you hit Alt, you can actually take those out.
Okay, cool.
So I'll just do.
And what you can do is if you turn off the mesh, turn off show mesh, now you can see those pins that are being added.
Ah.
So you add pins where you want to stay down, grab the other part, move it. You get it. Angela knows. As I saw Angela. Oh, Angela brings up that Puppet Warps is fun for fonts as well, which is nice.
Interesting. I'm about to try that.
Yeah. The cool thing is if this is part of a smart object, you're not destroying the original image, and then you have the Puppet Warp on top of it. So you could actually have your text, in that case, editable, and then have that as a layer effect. Cool. Yes, Control-Z is our best friend.
Yes, Command, Control-Z, yes.
Command-Z.
Oh.
So fun. Depends on if you're on Mac or PC, by the way, Crystal, so you are right.
Yeah.
We can get into all sorts of things. I think this looks great. I think you should submit it to the challenge. Just kidding. And maybe you could win Creative Cloud.
Oh, right. But yeah.
That looks good. And you've saved this.
Yes, I have.
That is good.
Just gonna resave it again.
Oh, Ty, don't leave us. I think you're in India, which I don't know what time it is there. Probably like super late. So maybe we'll let you go to sleep. But I want to kind of click through the schedule as we kind of shift gears or play with this, just so you know. Because we have Temi, and if I say your full name correctly, Temi Lalua.
Yes.
Temi Lalua. Coker. I have one job. Say your name. Shauna, Lynn, Pencheson's back there with Voodoo Val. So they'll be up next, about 40 minutes. Good to see you, Jake. And then Reza as well. So like amazing artists, hand letterers, all sorts of cool people hanging out with you, Paul and Daniel and Yusuf. Good to have you here as well. So yeah. Is it Queen Latifah? It could be anybody you want. Sure, why not? You're kind of making this for a friend?
Yeah, my friend Upile and another photographer took this picture, Maxim Bukowski.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
What is, I mean, your name is very interesting. Like, what's your background or heritage? Or
So I'm from Nigeria. I came to America 2004. My name means God is mine.
Wow, that's
pretty cool.
Deep.
Yeah,
wow.
I know, right? But yeah, and I came to America 2004.
2004, wow, man.
I went to the University of Houston after high school to study digital media. I originally went to study biomedical engineering.
Wow.
Can you see that switch?
Another heavy subject.
Right.
Wow, killing me.
And then 2 years in, I was like, I cannot do this. So I switched.
Yeah, well, we're glad you did, because you're just knocking this out. I think typically we have designers that just don't finish in time. Mm-hmm. Like, we're almost ready to move on to something else if we want to, or whatever. But this is fantastic. Anybody else here from Nigeria? Either you live there currently or are from Nigeria, would love to hear in chat.
Yes, my people, where
Kwesi?
are you at?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds like a Ghanaian name. A lot of my Ghanaian friends have Kwesi.
Yeah, so this is going to be in the replays tab up above. It will appear there, but hang out with us. Don't worry, we're going for 3 days. And
Robert is from Nigeria. I'm Ghanaian. Yes, Kwesi is not Ghanaian.
Oh, really?
Very cool.
Oh.
Actually, if he knows Ray Coker from the UK.
Oh, he's a DJ, isn't he?
I don't know.
He is a DJ. He mentioned that earlier, I think.
Oh, no, I'm going to have to check that out. Nana, yeah, that guy is definitely African.
Oh, really?
I think he's Igbo. Adeola is Yoruba from my tribe.
Really?
Yeah, I can just tell by like the first name and the last name. My last name is Coker. And I thought I was like I thought it was different. But then I came to America, and then I went to school, and there was this white girl that had Coker, and I was like, "Hey, sister." She looked at me and just walked away. But that's when I realized, okay, so Coker is not just my
Coker. I wonder where that does come from.
I think it comes from like, I don't want to say UK or British or something. Yeah.
And while we have you here, do you have any PSDs that you could just open up, like maybe of some finished pieces, and we can kind of just see the layers and kind of pick those apart that are related? Because I know you've done some things like this.
Yeah.
Not to derail you.
No.
I just like peeking under the hood and.
No problem. Let me see what I have saved on my computer. So I've been doing this thing called like what is it? I'm currently doing this. It's not a poster, but I'm doing a magazine cover recover. All right, so as you guys can see, I used the mixer brush tool here, what I was teaching you guys about.
Oh yeah.
Now you can see there's definitely little lines. That's because my spacing on my brush was purposely left like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna hide everything else so you guys can see what I started off with. As you can see, I don't name my layers.
I love it. I love it. I don't fault anybody for like
Things.
How they do things.
I just don't have time, you know. Sometimes I'm in the rush. All right, so yeah. So this is what the original image looked like.
Okay. Sweet.
So this is what the original image looked like.
Yeah, and can you pull out that layers panel or just like allow us to see it a little better?
Yes.
It's like super small in there.
Let me make.
Let's see how messy things get. Let's just see the messiness.
And I think I can go in here and make
change
my
the size.
thumbnail bigger. Panel options. Yeah.
One thing I typically do in here, don't go away real fast. Layer bounds.
What is that?
It's the best thing ever. And uncheck add copy to layers that you duplicate. You know how you have layer 1, copy, copy, copy?
Oh,
just stay layer 1. And I have like 3 different versions, like a whatever. So I just keep it. So look, this does layer bounds. So it just shows the element that's on that layer and not the whole document. So you can see things much clearer now.
Wow, I'm learning something new today.
Oh, now
This is amazing.
we're all learning. It's fantastic.
So I was trying to figure out what to do here. I was like, what do I do? So I added water to her skirt just because I felt like it.
Need to.
I don't know what I was doing here. I was trying to do something there, but I deleted it. So I'm going to use this tomorrow, but this is a tool I like. I made some gradient meshes in Illustrator. And this is probably my favorite one that I've ever made.
Ooh, pull that. Can you draw? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I can drag it
reveal
out.
that. I don't, and it's okay if we get a little bit ahead today, but. Oh yeah.
So this is what I made, and this was by accident. I was like, man, what would happen if I clipped this into a circle, right? So I brought the shape on top and I clipped it into a circle, and if I'm just gonna move it around. I kind of like these colors right here. So then I was like, okay, well, if I press Command E, it merges them together. So I went into Filter and I went to Distort. I would say this is probably my favorite tool.
Ah, wave.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I can change the number of generators. I usually leave it between 5 and 1. And then you can also randomize it, and you start getting all these
okay. I like that too.
different shapes in here. And after a while, after messing around with it, let me move it to like maybe 3. After messing around with it, it takes a lot of trial and error for sure. And then I just keep pressing randomize, and then it turns it into stuff like this. And then if I do it again, it makes it even more abstract.
Oh, I like that almost. Yeah, that was like a quick result for.
But you always want to make sure you keep this, so that later on, if you want to change the color, you can move this around and make the same thing using different colors. So I just group this and I just duplicate it and I hide it. But yeah, so that's exactly what I did. So this one, I brought this in As you can see, I have a hue and saturation layer on top. And I added some shadows to the skirt, just very subtle. And then I had these in there. Then I brought these, using the same technique I just showed you guys. And then I brought these, and as you can see, I started playing around with the layer mask to kind of hide them behind her. And yeah, and then I kind of got carried away and did too much, so I think I ended up hiding one of these. I don't remember which one. But yeah.
And I noticed you do this. Like, I love these bright colors, by the way. It kind of shows your designer eye, sort of taking something that's kind of monotone or maybe black and white, and like really like that's a perfect example too. Just like punching it up.
Yeah.
You know, with color, with a little bit of randomness, right? And that was wave you used, right? That was
I used the same technique on this one, but I used the pencil to just go in and color. This was inspired by a guy named Saman. He does a lot of stuff like this on Behance and Instagram as well. So I took some of his techniques, mixed it up with mine, and I actually turned, one of the waves came out like this, and I turned it into his hat, just because I could. So yeah.
Yeah, that is really cool. And you mentioned, you know, Illustrator. Do you typically, like, I jump into Illustrator for some things? And
yeah, sometimes I would go into Illustrator. I did this 20-day challenge with using Illustrator and Photoshop and InDesign. So I made, for 20 days, I made a poster a day. It was part of my poster a day project. And after that, I brought all my images into into InDesign, and I made a book.
Oh wow, nice.
So yeah,
very cool stuff.
thank you.
All right, yeah, that's looking great. Hopefully you'll post that. I don't know, like.
Yeah, I'm going to post it on my Instagram today. I usually save this and then I share it with my phone through AirDrop, and then I bring it into Instagram and Twitter and yeah, and Instagram stories as well. So yeah, I'm gonna actually see if I can start on the other fish one, and that will make this a lot more easier because we pretty much already have everything that we need.
And we are kind of down to the wire for the submissions.
Oh, so people are working on them right now too, huh?
Yeah, the clock is at 00, so that's what I was doing,
snaps.
is kind of checking out what we have. All right, there we go. I made it harder than it needed to be. All right. Fantastic.
Oh, snaps.
Okay, so the clock does say 00. We'll dive into this.
Oh
Shall
my
we do
gosh.
this? Diving into our reviews for the challenge today. Just so everybody knows, we'll click pause. It's right over here. This is the challenge we're talking about. Combining human-animal hybrid any way you want. Let your imagination run wild. You were obviously doing sort of a female with a fish, a beta fish, and that's what they submitted, and you can check out the gallery to see what others are creating. And this is essentially the link. Am I correct, Gus? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay, this is the same link he sent me. Sorry about that. So either way, you can check that out right here, and we're going to review this live right now. See it right here. So let's dive into this, shall we? Let's start with this one.
Wow.
Sorry about that. How do I pause these? Huh?
Send a message like you're gonna type one.
Oh, I see. Click on send a message. Okay. That's how you pause it. There we go. Perfect. So we do have, this is just Adobe Live's example. Let's go to the next one. I apologize. Every time.
No problem.
If you click off of it, it disappears. Nonetheless, you could review these in the gallery. We're going to give away, so I'm going to need your help. Right?
Okay, let's
so we'll
do
just
this.
like decide which one we like. We can see this first example rolling in. We'll see Jay Alawi's next.
Wow.
Clicking right there.
I love the eyelashes. I actually made one with the poster like that with eyelashes as the fish fin.
Oh, that's fun.
very smart.
Yeah, very cool.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, great photo to use.
Great,
You know,
I love it.
A pop of color.
Yeah.
Great job, Jay. Fantastic. We're gonna get a little more freaky. I love it.
I love it. The eyes
Van
and the,
Damme
oh my god.
Designer, right? I love it. It's freaky. It's
Yeah.
like very Cheshire cat, sort of cat.
Yeah, human, cat, human
Like
being.
very Alice in Wonderland, if you will. But it matches up pretty well.
Yeah, they
And
blended it very well.
By the way, Van Damme Designer is should be 9 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Van Damme Designer's 9.
Wow.
So yes, he is gonna take your job, and he's
Yes,
gonna take my
please.
job. I just
I never know how
let
to
me
make
work
this at
for
9.
you. Can I work for you someday?
Yes, Van Damme, please.
He's coming for your job.
Yeah, hire me in the future, please.
Right. Be nice to Van Damme.
Oh, wow.
Thor. Oh, beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
I love the details on the shoulder.
Yeah, very good.
Is that a-
Thor Knudsen, is that what I saw? Yep.
Very good, Tor. I really like it.
Yeah, such a good job. Black and white, totally taking hints from what you were doing,
Oh
diving
my
into.
gosh. MJ, this is
From,
phenomenal.
Lino. I will say there's a little bit, if you look a little closer, it
Yeah,
looks like
if-
we kind of got it off a
Off
little
a
bit.
little bit, yeah.
But, you know, that's a tough mapping job to do with such an interesting, a tough angle to deal with, right? It's
Definitely.
easy when they're looking straight at you or whatever, but
And I love that you can see the eye of the actual. Looks like a
it's
cat
like a thunder.
eye.
It's a Thundercat, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
Thundercats.
Very
Anyone?
nice. Oh my god.
Jose. Oh, I love it.
Jose, I love
like,
it.
I like the kind of knowing which ones they started with. Like, here are these.
Here's the original.
That's a very studied gorilla. Like,
Yeah.
close.
very good layer
like,
masking for sure.
Yeah.
Even the wrinkles, you got the wrinkles.
Good
on
job
the
at the
head.
coloring,
Yeah.
right? So good. Knowing what to take away, what to keep.
Okay, this is good.
Chelsea's nice as
I think I've seen this image on Splash or something, but yes, this is
Okay.
nice. I like it.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
very cool. A simple edit totally works.
Right.
You know, adjusting the lighting in that daylight, kind of getting that right.
Oh,
I don't know. She's feeling a little.
this
little-
reminds
a
me of
little
the
hoarse.
movie
She's feeling a little
Sorry to
hoarse.
Bother You. Oh. This is hilarious. Wow, I like it.
Super fun. So,
Awesome.
those were all of them. Let's see if that works.
Wow.
And let's kind of dive into this one more time. Go to the
Okay.
gallery. We've seen them all. We'll pick. Really, first off, everybody's a winner. Everybody did a fantastic job.
Yes.
I can't think of a more fun challenge to have. Like, it's just fun to look at, and it's just a blast.
Yeah, your creativity just goes wild. The possibilities are endless.
I agree with Tom. Well done, everyone. From Jay's, Van Damme, sneaky little smile.
Thor.
Hopefully,
MJ.
you're kind of picking your favorite.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Thor's is proper.
Very good.
MJ's Thundercat. Go
I like that
Thundercats.
theme.
I love this. Jose's showing the two photos. And it's just like, I like how they left. Looked like Chelsea left a
ponytail.
little ponytail on top of the dog.
That's
And
so
then
good.
Chelsea's.
Awesome. Wow.
We don't have to pick one right now, actually.
Okay.
These are just the ones we have. Am I missing a clock?
10:09.
We don't have to pick one right now.
Yeah, we'll pick one at the end of the day.
Oh, the end of the day. I'm so sorry. We're going to do one winner at the end of the day. I'm sorry. I thought we were going to pick one right now. But can we just kind of get your advice on which one you like the best? Which one's like kind of jumping out at you?
Yeah, so definitely the Thundercat is jumping out. I like the details. Thor was really good.
Okay, let's go back. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Thor was really good. I don't know what that person put on the head, but I thought that was interesting.
This is Thor's.
Yeah.
Are you saying that these feathers?
Yeah, are those? Yeah, it looks like
I think
feathers.
they kind of look like feathers, which I think is totally cool.
Very nice. And then it looks like, yeah, I love what they did with the hair as well. But yeah, the first person, I don't know, I forgot their name.
Who's that? The first
Chelsea's was great. I loved the humor with that. So was Van Damme's. But yeah, Jay's
is good too.
Jay's is-
Reminiscent of your first one. That
Yeah,
Who
I
was
mean,
your
it's
first?
inspiring me to try and do something different rather than put it on the head. I could put it somewhere on the face.
Yeah, Anel says Thor or Jay kind of likes that. And again, it's like having, again, it's truly half human, like half
animal.
animal.
Yeah, he said Thor said it was a peacock.
Okay, peacock
it.
feathers. Cool. We still have time, man. This
Yeah,
is good.
so
we
y'all-
always run out of time. We have time to switch over to you. I know you have
Oh.
something else on your screen.
Yeah, this I could do this
and
pretty quickly.
Then we will have Shauna up next with Voodoo Val, which will be awesome. I don't know if she's actually here or not. I don't know. I've only seen her in chat. I guess we'll see what happens there. But here's your screen. This is
Yeah.
very clean, very nice.
Very clean image from Adobe Stock. I love it a lot. I'm gonna just say layer via copy because I already know the selection is gonna be pretty cool. Oops, actually no. Let me go to selected mask. I'm just gonna take away some of the whites from the hair as well, like I did before. And I'm working pretty fast on this because you guys already know what I'm going to do. It's the same technique. I don't have to worry about down here because I'm gonna cover it. Layer via copy. There we go. This is her. The fish that I'm going to bring in is the one I told you about that I think is like the best beta fish I've ever seen. This one.
Beautiful.
The colors are just amazing. So I'm gonna go to selected mask. I'm gonna do my best to just pick out what I can here. Does not have to be perfect.
Yeah, because especially if it's going on black. You might,
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things, whether you missed it or got it, it's not going to stand out until you kind of start to composite it.
Exactly. Since I'm using black, I don't have to worry about this looking too perfect because it's just gonna show black on black. So I'm gonna do layer via copy here. And so now we have the
Oh, that's cool.
Fish.
I actually didn't know that existed. Right click, layer
layer via copy.
via copy.
So now I already know I'm going to have this as her head. So I'm gonna bring these two images down. You guys can already see that I am working on doing something like this. So I'm gonna add the layer mask. I'm gonna zoom in. And I could either like leave it something like this and just clip it to the image of her so it stays in if I want to have something like that. But I kind of like it out, kind of like that. And, oops. And yeah.
Yeah, I think you could. We have 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I
So-
can whip something up. with
Whipping
that.
it up. All right, let's go. It's go time.
It's
It's
go
like
time.
you're entering the.
I'm in
All
the
right.
zone.
Tammy's entering the challenge as well. Look out, folks.
Yes, I'm
You
going to
got,
submit
you got all
this
day
today.
today. We will highlight yours, but he's going to submit it, and I'm going to say sorry. Everybody. That already looks good. And I think a lot of that's like sort of picking the right photos.
Right.
You know, ideally making sure they have the right angle. If they don't, sort of warping it into place.
Exactly. So just gonna
So-
make this a little smaller so I can make my moves fast.
Saiweli, welcome. Good to have you here. Hello. And yeah, glad you're here, Tom, as well. Fantastic.
So it's all trial and error. Putting this behind because I want it to be a little bigger. Maybe even coming out from her right there like that. And maybe I can make a copy of that and flip it horizontally so we have another one on this side. Right, so it almost looks like she has a peacock tail or whatever. And
I like that there's just enough scales in there to indicate that it's like a betta fish.
right.
It works really well. Like that's one element you probably don't want to remove.
Yeah, and I started thinking I was doing the betta fish too much, but people just kept encouraging me to just keep going with it and exploring my imagination and whatnot. So it's been pretty awesome. I'm gonna delete that. And so yeah, if I wanted to make her darker, I could just go in here and the image is already black and white, so I would just have to go in here and mess around with the exposure.
Yeah, and this is good. You could either, yeah, that looks really good. Because you could, her face is so dark. So
Right.
one way to highlight her face is either punch it up in the background and have that contrast. Like either way. But
Right,
that
there's so
looks
many
good.
different ways you could do this. And now let's say I decide I want to change the color. I'm just gonna group these two, and we'll just go in here and start messing around with the color. Kind of like this blue-ish color. Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, it's almost like you could do no wrong. That looks good.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good. Another way, do you have any other ways to change the overall look of the piece? Like in terms of like color and like tone?
Yeah, so you can always, so let's say like right here.
Because maybe if you want to play with, you kind of want to experiment.
Yeah, so if I want to make the fish, part of the fish brighter, especially like on this side, I can definitely go to the dodge and I can start bringing out some of the highlights.
Yeah, that looks really
Right,
good.
so you can see the
Punch
difference.
it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can go to each layer and I can start doing that, especially in the edges. If I want the edges to be very, very, very bright, I could do that as well. Just so that the focus is where it needs to be.
Anela, you don't like not too blue? That's what I know.
She says, oh,
Not too blue though. I was wondering if there's a way to globally change the colors, like just kind of, is that saturation layer on the very top?
Yeah. So let's see if I bring this to, if I change this to 0, you kind of see what this looks like.
And that
Right.
looks glorious too. Wow.
And so you have blue, you have yellow. So I can go into the yellow channel and actually change that to a different color. And so that whenever I change the whole thing, that changes as well to different colors. So instead of blue and purple, it's now like purple and something else. But yeah.
Can I try? Can we do one other thing real fast?
Yeah.
And actually pull out that layers panel if you don't mind.
Okay.
Just so we can all see it in all of its glory.
Let me make
There
it
it is.
bigger.
That works too. Perfect. So you can kind of see, excuse me, the hue and saturation layer that's happening there, which is perfect. Go down to the bottom, right down there to your adjustment layers. Third one in,
this one.
click. And this is just like another way to get to these things.
Right.
But you have obviously a ton of things to play with. One thing I don't know if people know about is look for color lookup. Actually, go to color lookup.
Color lookup. Okay.
Color lookup, this is the closest thing you have to like almost like an Instagram filter on things. So this is a lookup table. Do that drop down and then just select any one of these and it will change it in its entirety.
Overall, wow. I didn't even know about
This is just
this.
fun it's just fun to click through if you just like, I'm kind of at a loss. What
Right.
happens if I apply,
Film stock.
film stock,
Kodak. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, you just get to play for a little bit.
Wow,
Like,
this is
that
gonna be
looks good. Isn't that kind of fun?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to play with.
It's a lot of fun.
So where this actually comes from is like the video world when they needed, the tone of the film to look the same, but they're dealing with, 5 different editing programs across 3 companies. They needed one consistent lookup table, like a color set, if you will, that acts as a layer that they put on top
of the
and that's
whole
where this
images.
comes from, is to give it the same tone.
So this is why people shoot on S-Log, right? So they can add these type of filters on there.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. But essentially what this all is it's like if you added hue and saturation and brightness and all those different adjustment layers and rolled them into one little profile, if you will. That's what you're applying.
Wow.
Because essentially you could save this as a LUT, save the file. I'd have to double check. But file, export.
Color lookup.
Yes, color lookup tables, and just switching over. That's how you do it. So as soon as you set up all your cool presets, like if you did want all of your beta fish hybrid people to have one tone, that's how you can do it. So
Wow.
anyways, it's kind
I
of
like
fun.
that.
I don't know. Yes, so there's LUTs for many cameras. As you can see in all those, that drop down, you saw a lot of film stock camera type of references. But anyways, we're just playing. That even looks gorgeous.
good with the
and you can turn that on and off and just, actually it doesn't do a whole lot. I guess it was good to because
I like
to begin
it.
with.
It brings out the blues and everything in this,
Yeah.
and even the background, the edges as well. I
Which
really
is so
like it.
cool. This is so fun, man. You better be posting these later.
Yeah, I'm gonna
be
post them.
This is what I created.
And if they missed it, well, they can watch the replay.
Yeah, exactly. But please do. Actually, where can we find you online, or where would you post this to? Like,
Yeah, so I post on Instagram quite often. I also sometimes I would do like an Instagram story where I would tell people tap to edit, and as you tap, all of these things pop up. It definitely takes a lot of time, but
tap to edit. Like,
yeah.
what do you
So
mean?
on Instagram stories when you're tapping to go to the next picture,
Oh.
so it would start off something like this, and then you will see me bring this
what
in.
a great idea.
Yeah, so it's a good way for people to kind of see how I think when I'm doing my stuff. So
Yeah.
it would be something like, this would be what it would start off like, and then I would add this, and I would say I made the
So
skin
cool.
darker, I added this, added this.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, it's Temi, Temi, .coker on
All right.
Instagram. And Twitter is Temi_Coker on Twitter. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer. And yeah.
There you are. Fantastic. I got you right there. You can see all of his work. And I think just a preview of tomorrow is diving into kind of maybe some more of this stuff. And you mentioned
Yes.
that earlier and kind of covered it, but like by all means, even if we start from, again, grabbing something from Illustrator, if that's what it takes, like at least show that to us in Illustrator.
Definitely.
And then come in and just have some fun with it would be
Definitely.
very awesome. So,
I'm excited.
all right, Jose Gonzalez says you're the best, and I would agree.
Thank you so
again,
much.
not to take anything away from anyone else, because I think we have like an awesome day full of awesome people, and
Yes.
this is day 1 of 3, which is awesome. Yes, don't go anywhere. We're keeping you here.
I will be here.
Temi Coker's up with me for an hour and a half. We're going to wrap this up soon. Shauna Lynn Panchezin, Shauna Parmesan, as I like to call her, because that's what she's known as social media, with Val. Jake, as well, amazing animator and illustrator, and Reza does Poorly Drawn Lines is his like web comic. So it's cool that you have quite a variety today.
Yes.
And are you gonna maybe you have? Oh, by the way, can I just say I'm probably gonna get sick since I've been like touching y'all, and, like, making it weird.
I'm actually
But you're
getting better,
you feeling
hopefully.
better?
Yeah.
He hasn't been feeling well today, but thank you
Yeah.
for like putting your game face on and
Thanks for
making it
having me.
happen.
I'm excited. This was awesome.
Yeah, it's good. Well, super fun having you. And again, you can see his work in the background. And by all means, even if you have some of these Photoshop files, I think people did like kind of peeking under the hood
Yeah.
and seeing the messy, unnamed layers and all that stuff is just fun to see.
I'm working on making a lot of more YouTube tutorials that do have the PSD files so people can work along with me. So
Okay, yeah. And this is only one thing you do, because you're also like, even once you get back, you do photography. So you got to go
Yeah.
photograph a wedding. Lucky them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But again, do you work freelance actually?
right now I'm an Adobe Creative Resident, so Adobe pretty much allows me to create freely, and I get to work with Adobe on a lot of different things. And there's 7 of us, 4 from the US, 3 from the UK. And yeah, applications open next year around January, February. So I encourage everyone to apply.
And that's why we have these daily challenges. So we
Yeah.
had this one today. We also have the XD Daily Creative Challenge going on as well. So we're basically like allowing you to build your portfolio, and maybe that is a goal, is to like maybe become a resident.
Yeah.
And that would be a great goal. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up now. Thank you so much, everyone. Stick around.
Thank you, guys.
Don't worry, we have Shauna up next with, of course, Voodoo Val. So stay tuned, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you, Timmy.
Thank you
What's
so
up,
much,
buddy?
folks.
Yes. See us tomorrow.
Bye, guys.